Hi, I'm Joseph Hancock with Mount Holly Baptist Church AV Group. This is our first podcast. I'm interviewing Joan Hancock with WMU about the food drive for Baptist Children's Home. For those of you who might not be familiar, what is the Baptist Children's Home and what is its mission?
Well, the Baptist Children's Home mission statement is sharing hope, changing lives. But they also have a vision to provide the highest quality of Christian services to children, adults, and families in a caring culture of measurable excellence. Baptist Children's Home was established in 1885, 20 years after the Civil War. It was a time of adversity, and this orphanage was a citadel of hope, greeting the first child on November the 11th in 1885. In the following years, the orphanage it weathered many winds of adversity and came out stronger, resilient, and determined. They were isolated before, once during the flu pandemic of 1918, the polio quarantine in the early 1950s, and in both instances they did suffer some death. But each time the orphanage did rise, survive, and thrive. The strength of the orphanage came from God's guidance and the strength of women and men who gave of themselves to the least of these the most. These children grew up to be adults. They survived two great wars, world wars, as a matter of fact, the Great Depression, Vietnam, 9/11, and COVID. This place was sacred and was founded on faith and built on love. That is what sustained them when they were the orphanage at Mills Home in Thomasville and the orphanage at Kennedy Home in Kinston. And it's what sustains them now as the children's homes of North Carolina. So many ministries to the glory of God they're just beating with one heart. And the dream of their founder, John Mills, lives on. The legacy of the first child in care there at Thomasville, her name was Mary Presser. And that legacy lives on also. So winds and adversity still blow strong, but they will not be defeated, and neither will you. They are Baptist Children's Home strong. They will rise. They are on holy ground, sacred space. We shall not be moved. Strong now, strong then, strong forever. And all this information can be found on the Baptist website. So the Baptist Children's Home serves all 100 counties here in North Carolina, and they operate in 30 communities. They have locations in 30 communities, not only in North Carolina, but in South Carolina and Guatemala.
Okay. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot since their creation.
Yes. John Mills's vision statement has really gotten larger.
Yeah, so we're on about the food drive. What is the purpose of the food drive, and how does it help support the children's home?
So the purpose of the food drive and gift cards that are donated provide food to children who could not count on eating every day. So, but 80% of the children that come to Baptist Children's Homes are unchurched and unreached. Donations not only provide daily food, 3 meals a day plus snacks, and we have to realize that some children could not count on eating 3 meals a day. They may only eat 1 meal a day or every other day. So this food that's provided there, it helps point them to Jesus, and it's called Full Plates, Full Hearts. The goal this year is $750,000 in non-perishable food, supplies, and gift cards. This equals approximately 700,000 meals. It's a lot of meals.
It is. How did the partnership between Mount Holly Baptist Church and the Baptist Children's Home begin?
Mount Holly has been participating with the Baptist Children's Home for a number of years, not only with financials, but at times they've gone up and helped build things that they needed, like shelves for the food and stuff like that, help do repair on the cottages. We have 2 missions that we participate in every year, one being the food drive, and the other second is in November, and that's our annual offering. That's our financial help.
Okay. When does this food drive run, and what are the key dates to remember?
It started yesterday, April 1st, and will continue through the end of April on the 30th.
We're going to look at ways to participate. What types of food items are most needed?
Well, I have a flyer here, and the part of the flyer that is bolded, those are the most needed items. And then there's the rest of the items. They're needed, but these that are bolded are the most needed. And maybe you can get that up on our website. And the only thing that we need to remember is they are non-perishable items.
Okay. So they're like the guidelines for what people should or shouldn't donate.
And yes.
Okay. Where can people bring donations, and are there drop-off times?
Well, they can be brought to Mount Holly Baptist Church, and the address is 5551 U.S. Highway 117 North in Burgaw. And they can be delivered, if it's through the week, just they can knock on the pastor's door, which is in the parsonage right next door to the church, or prior to church service on Sunday.
As I guess, just make sure pastor's home, make sure his truck's here.
Yeah.
Knock on the door. If not, I guess during church service or prior to church service. Mm-hmm. Is there an option to give financially if someone can't shop for food?
Yes, like I said, they can do gift cards to like Food Lion, Walmart, grocery stores, and also on their website, the Baptist website, there's a place that they can also donate financially. And that, again, is bchfoodroundup.org, or they can call 336-474-1277.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to impact and inspiration. Can you share a story or example of how donations have made a difference in the lives of the children or families served?
Well, the financial donations help to keep the Baptist Children's Home cottages going also. And in 2023, the focus was on a young man named Terrell. He was 13 years old. No one knew that this child existed. He didn't ever get to go to school. His parents or whoever was caring for him said that he wasn't worth the gasoline to go in the car to get him there. But when social services found out about him, they worked with the Baptist Children's Home, and he was eventually adopted. But when this young man came, he had sores on his feet. He walked with a walker. Of course, his education, he had no education, couldn't read, couldn't write. But he was adopted, and his adoptive mother, if I'm not mistaken, homeschooled him to get him caught up to where he needed to be. And he was shown love that he had never had before. And this young man has been saved and baptized. And when they asked him about his room in his adopted home, he, of course, had his bed and TV and books and whatnot. What was his favorite thing? And it was his bed, because he said he never had one before. And it just makes you realize how lucky we are. But through the love of God, this young man has a chance at life.
Sometimes things people take for granted, some people never see.
Absolutely.
Why is the food drive important, not just to the children's home, but for us as a church family?
Well, for us as a church family, it gives us the opportunity to give to those who are in need. And it helps offset the financial money that is needed, and so that their money is used to do more programs and services, so they don't have to spend that $750,000 on food, and that money can be used for programs in the communities and states. And just an example, 92 cents out of every dollar that is donated to the Baptist Children's Home goes to programs and services, taking care of those kids, getting the word out. And only 8 cents of the dollar goes to administrative needs.
The more we can offset with certain things, the more they're allowed to do, and the more flexibility they have with certain things.
And the more they're able to take care of these children. And not only the children, they have all different types of programs. Just for information, just go to their website. They do such wonderful, wonderful work.
How does supporting the mission align with the gospel and our call as believers?
So we are to care for the widows and orphans, and that's what Christ told us. And we have to remember that we are the hands and feet of Jesus.
Right. So community and encouragement. How can people spread the word about the food drive?
Word of mouth. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
All right. So we also have the podcast, which we're launching now.
Yes.
Hopefully this will also be on the Facebook page. Get this out as well. Are there any of special events or reminders happening during the month to encourage participation?
The podcast.
Yep. We got that going. Hopefully that'll help. We got a closing call to action. What's one thing you'd say to encourage someone who's on the fence about getting involved?
I would refer them to Matthew 25:40. Whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me. Of course, that's my words, but from Scripture.
Can you give an example of that?
By giving to the food drive, Mount Holly has several missions that we participate in. It's getting the word out, and making sure that these children, especially at the Baptist Children's Home, are cared for.
Okay. Where can listeners go to find more information, or who can they contact if they have questions?
They can go to the Baptist Children's Home website, again, BCH, foodroundup.org, or they can call 336-474-1277.
Yeah.
So children come to the Baptist Children's Home with all their worldly belongings in black trash bags. And everything that's in there is not always able to be kept. So we have to, when they have to take something away, they have to give something in place of. And part of that program is making sure that they're able to eat and spreading the word of God, and that someone loves you, that these people who provided the food love you. They're Christians. They love God, and they want to make sure that you're able to eat 3 meals a day. But they also we don't know what we don't know when the children come to the Baptist Children's Home. We don't know what kind of life they live, like Terrell, what he lived through. So they feel that their life is unworthy. They feel no one wants them. And the Baptist Children's Home is able to show them that somebody cares. Not only someone they could see, but Christ cares for them.
Maybe sometimes people they don't know care enough about them to help.
Yes.
Sometimes that's enough.
Yes.
All right. This concludes our first podcast, Mount Holly Baptist Church. My name is Joseph Hancock. Hopefully this reaches you and touches you. Maybe donate. Thanks.